you have, it's important to find shows that speak to you, because not everything is going to speak to you, and that's okay. And that's what makes great television. But to find that spark of a show that you're like, oh my God, this is so funny, this speaks to me. It's really cool.
Hello, Rocio.
Hola, hello.
Hello, nice to meet you. And thank you so much for your time. Very exciting. Yes.
Yes, very exciting.
Very exciting to talk about the season 2 this fall. And I really liked it. I loved the first one, and then I watched the episodes for this one, and I was like, oh my God, this is beyond funny. And I think it's very important to have series like that, like showing Latinos for us.
Yeah.
So
did you see season 2? Have you seen it?
Yes, I did. I did. I watched everything. When they gave me permission, I always watch them.
Awesome.
So let's start from the beginning. Like, how was like the inspiration to create the costumes for both seasons? Because it's so like the costumes is very kind of we look at like some stuff that we've seen, but how was like the inspiration for that?
Well, I think one of the goals was just to make sure that it's rooted in honesty, that it's very much LA working class, and it was important that was reflected in the wardrobe and the costumes, because you don't want a character to be inauthentic, because then it just won't be as believable or funny. So I think it was just really important to define each character and their personality and have that be reflective.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I know that you work in like big productions, Hollywood, in Hollywood, Diverge, Angels and Demons, and among other movies. But what was like the difference between creating the costumes for those type of movie and this one?
You know what? It's so funny, but this is much more attainable, which I hope that the viewers really like appreciate that, because a lot of times you see these big films, or I've worked on big films where like a blouse is like $1,200. I mean, and the average viewer, like in this show, it's about working class folks. Like, so they're not going to be shopping at Saks or Neiman's, or the big Beverly Hills stores. This is working class people that, shop at the mall, at the swap meet, or wherever they feel that they identify with. Like if they like, or like, for example, Julio, who likes punk music, he's not going to be shopping at Macy's. He's going to go to like the record store where they sell like punk shirts or things like that. So I just think that it was just really refreshing to feel like we were shopping for real people with, all sorts of different body types and skin color, and it was cool.
Yeah, no, I love that, because there's some stuff that I look at like, oh my God, I have something similar to that. Even the makeup for the ladies, everything. So it's so good. And also, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's so important to have series like that. And for you, how important for you to work in a series like that? I know that Chris Estrada is your brother. Yes. I know it has a family connection there, but aside from that, why is it important to have shows like this on the streaming services, on the TVs, and for everybody to watch it?
Oh my gosh, it's so important, because you want to, a lot of times you see these shows, like growing up, I remember I would watch some shows that I was a fan of, but I didn't necessarily identify with. Say like Dawson's Creek. Like when I was a kid, I watched Dawson's Creek, and it was a cool show and I loved it and I watched it, but I never felt like a connection to it where I identified with it. And unlike this fool, I don't know, it just speaks to me. And I hope that it speaks to a lot of viewers when they see it and they're like, oh, my abuelita does that, or oh, I have a neighbor like this person, or oh my gosh, the neighbor's rooster is like, going off at 6 a.m. It's just things that you just relate to home. And I think that's important. And I think that as a viewer, it's important to find shows that speak to you, because not everything is going to speak to you, and that's okay. And that's what makes great television. But to find that spark of a show that you're like, oh my God, this is so funny, this speaks to me, it's really cool.
Yeah. And how much Chris, like how much he talk on the decisions to the costumes, how much did he talk about it, how much he participated?
He's very involved. To him, the show means a lot, and it's essentially a part of, like, there's aspects of his life. So he was very hands-on. Actually, all the creators were very hands-on, but Chris in particular would make sure that he would send me, like, even before the show started, he sent me mood boards and guides on, like, this is how I see it, what do you think? And so there was a lot of conversation back and forth, and he always wanted to be involved in getting the fitting photos and looking at them. I just think for him, it was just really important that it didn't feel like you were watching like a 30-minute sitcom. I think he just really wanted you to watch it as a viewer and just be enveloped in it, just to lose yourself in it and laugh and think like, oh, this is real.
Amazing. And for us to wrap it up, what was your biggest challenge? Like, what was like the most difficult one, costume, or the most fun one that you had to create? Talk a little bit about it.
Oh my gosh. So for season 2 was the hootenanny scene where they were in the desert, and that was so fun, but it also presented its problems because it was during the storming season, just like a couple months ago, when it was like raining nonstop. So we had all this like desert clothes, and we had to shift gears a little bit and make it more weather relatable, because there was all this storm, there was a lot of storms. So that was fun and challenging, because you also want to be kind to the background artists and make sure that they're comfortable and they're not cold and they're wearing proper shoes, but still not lose the kookiness of like being in this desert with these desert rats that, it's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So I would say that was like the funnest part. Oh, and also for season 2, maybe it's so funny, but I think what was important for me were like little things. Like I really like the, I hope I'm not giving away too much, but the part where you see Julio looking at his phone and he sees that Maggie and Julio también eloped. And you see this like little wedding scene. Like it's those little short, sharp moments that I really loved. And, they were fun and also challenging. And for season 1, maybe the dinosaur, because that was kind of silly. You had to make sure that the fan inside didn't come through with the microphone, and that it stayed put, and that he was able to walk in it. So there's a lot of, like experimenting, and that was fun.
Amazing. Rocio, I just want to thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to meet you. Muchas gracias, and a lot of success, and keep bringing, I hope you get more projects like this and like big ones too, right? So, thank you so much. Ciao. If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.